So there's one moment from this card that people can't stop debating, and it's the extra punches Jacoby Smith threw at Josiah. And after the fight, during the interview, Jacoby Smith admitted that he felt his opponent go limp after the third or fourth punch. And despite that, there was an additional 4 punches thrown. So we're starting from there. Then we'll break down everything else that happened in Houston. So, like I said, he claimed that he knew his opponent went limp in the post-fight interview. And those are his own words. Now, if you go back and watch the footage, after that moment, there were 4 more punches. And 2 of them happen while the ref is actively stepping in and physically trying to stop it. So, from my perspective, once you say you felt him go limp and you're still throwing, that's not just instinct anymore. That's a decision. And I'm not going to lie, watching those last 2 shots, especially while the ref is intervening, that doesn't sit right with me. That's where it crosses the line. If that was truly intentional, that's ugly behavior. There's no other way to put it. It reminds me of what Raja Jackson did to Psycho Stu inside the wrestling ring. Granted, that was way worse than this situation. But it was similar in the way that Raja Jackson was continuously punching the unconscious man. So, now if someone wants to argue in this situation that Jacoby Smith had adrenaline running through him, or they want to argue about split-second processing the situation, then fine. Fights move fast. But those last 2 punches, those are hard to defend. And if you look closely at that moment, the reason the ref went so above and beyond to throw Jacoby Smith off was because he wasn't listening or respecting his motion, his intervening, because Jacoby Smith wasn't respecting his authority, and when he tried to intervene to make him stop throwing punches, you can see Jacoby Smith throw around his arms twice. That's why the ref had to physically push him off, almost tackle him off. So anyway, beside that, now let's get into the breakdown of the fight card this weekend. The main card in Houston delivered immediately, also featuring multiple first-round finishes and an exciting fight between Sean Strickland and Anthony Hernandez. Sean Strickland put together one of his sharpest performances in recent memory, stopping Anthony Hernandez by third-round TKO. He controlled the first 2 rounds behind a steady jab, keeping Hernandez at range and dictating the pace. Early in round 3, a knee to the body visibly hurt Hernandez and sent him retreating towards the fence. Strickland recognized the moment, surged forward with a barrage of punches, and forced the stoppage. It was a statement win that pushes him right back into the middleweight title conversation. Next, we have Uros Medic. He wasted no time, knocking out Jeff Neal in just 79 seconds in the opening round. In their first clean exchange, Medic landed a sharp left hook that ended the fight instantly. That's 3 straight first-round knockouts for Medic, who continues to build serious momentum at welterweight. Next, we have Meliquez Costa, picked up the biggest win of his career with a first-round TKO over Dan Ige. After finding early success with front kicks, Costa landed a spinning back kick late in the round that dropped Ige hard. He followed up with strikes to secure the finish, becoming the first fighter to stop Ige and extending his winning streak in emphatic fashion. Sergey Spivak earned a hard-fought unanimous decision over Ante in a physical heavyweight battle. Spivak's jab did damage early, blooding his opponent, but the momentum shifted in the second as Ante landed heavy counters. In the third, Spivak mixed in grappling and closed stronger to seal the win, snapping his skid and keeping himself relevant in the division. Jacoby Smith delivered another first-round stoppage after reversing a takedown attempt from Josiah Harrell. Rolling into a crucifix position, Smith unleashed ground and pound until the referee stepped in, and then he threw 2 more. It's another strong showing from the rising prospect. And Michael Pereira and Zachary Reese went the distance in a competitive middleweight clash. Pereira landed the heavier shots early and even scored a knockdown in the first round. Reese increased his output as the fight progressed, making it close down the stretch. Pereira ultimately earned the split decision, halting his losing skid. If I must admit, I would say I was a little bit surprised that the decision went that way. On the prelims, Carlos Leal and Chidi Njoku went the full 15 minutes in a competitive striking contest. Leal pushed the pace and staggered Njoku in the second round, though he briefly opted to grapple. Njoku remained efficient but couldn't consistently back Leal up. After 3 rounds, Leal secured the unanimous decision. Idris captured his first UFC victory with a unanimous decision over Ode Osborne. While the striking exchanges were fairly even early, Idris repeatedly leaned on his wrestling, securing takedowns and controlling position to bank rounds. Alden Correa earned a clear unanimous decision over Luis Guerrero in front of his hometown crowd. He steadily increased his output, mixed in takedowns, and had the biggest momentum in the third when he staggered Guerrero to cap off his third straight win. Jocelyn Edwards secured the first finish of the night, submitting Nora Cornell with a second-round rear-naked choke. After a clinch-heavy opening round, Edwards increased the pressure, landing heavy ground strikes, and locked in the choke for her fourth straight finish. And not to mention, her opponent looked like she broke her shoulder or possibly her collarbone, so hopefully her opponent's doing well. In the next fight, Punali Soriano edged Ramiz Brahima by unanimous decision in a competitive welterweight battle. Brahima showed volume early, particularly with body kicks, but Soriano landed the more impactful shots in key moments to earn his fourth consecutive win at 170. Next, we have Jean Paul made a successful debut, defeating Phil Rowe by split decision. He pressured early, mixed in takedowns, and maintained steady output across 3 rounds to earn the nod against the veteran. Then we had Jordan Levitt picked up a unanimous decision win over Yadir Del Val in his featherweight debut. Using his size and grappling, Levitt controlled much of the first 2 rounds and did enough late to secure his second straight victory. Carly Judice opened the card with a unanimous decision win over Juliana Miller. After defending early grappling threats, Judice found success at range and consistently outstruck Miller across 3 rounds to earn her third consecutive UFC win. If you enjoyed that quick breakdown, make sure you hit that like button. It really helps push the video. Drop your thoughts in the comments, especially on that controversial fight. I want to know where you stand. Subscribe if you're new here. We're covering every major card, every big storyline, and all the drama in between. I'll see you in the next one.